Sergi, and today we're going to be finishing our ranking of the top 10 most overpowered weapons and items in Fortnite history. In the previous video, we decided 10 through 6, so we've now reached the top 5. If you didn't watch the video, I'd suggest checking it out, as I think there's a few picks that may surprise you. So, if we're all ready, let's jump straight into it. Number 5. The drum gun. Now the drum gun being at only number 5 is probably going to surprise a lot of you, due to it being so infamously strong during its time in Fortnite. But I genuinely do believe there are 4 weapons and items that were stronger than the drum gun, so I'll get into them soon. But before we get to them, let's focus on the drum gun and discuss exactly why it deserves its place in the top 5. It may not have reached number 1 like many would have thought, but I wouldn't for a second say that the drum gun wasn't one of the most overpowered weapons we've ever seen, because it definitely was. Now the main reason why the drum gun was so incredibly strong is due to its combination of having a high magazine size of 50, a fast fire rate of 9, as well as doing 26 or 27 damage depending on the rarity. It was also a very adaptable weapon that could be used in nearly any engagement up to a medium range, but it was especially lethal at close range where it was able to relentlessly shred through structures like they were nothing. It was insane. It completely defined the spam meta when builds were weakened and damage fall off versus structures was removed, and the magazine size of 50 meant that it took ages before the weapon needed to be reloaded. It actually got to a point where people were rocking the double drum gun because it was that overpowered, which meant you could spam away for even longer without having to reload. During this time, the drum gun double barrel combination was a thing, and oh my god, I miss it so much. Please bring it back, Epic. Please. Just for me. It was just so much fun. Completely unbalanced, but fun nonetheless. Instead of making numerous changes to balance the weapon, Epic instead decided to vault it, which I think shows that they acknowledged just how overpowered it was. Number 4. The P90. Ah, the P90. What a beautiful weapon this was. But it's still in the game! I can hear you all screaming angrily at the screen. Yes, it's still in the game. But this isn't the P90 at its best. This is a poor, frail imitation. This is like comparing a £1 supermarket pizza to a Domino's pizza, a Renault Clio to a Bugatti Veyron, Cristiano Ronaldo to Lionel Messi. For those that can remember the P90 on the day of its release, they will remember just how truly broken this gun was. We all know how broken the drum gun was? Well, this was like that, but on steroids. It made you feel invincible. Although the P90 only dealt 23 to 24 base damage, compared to the drum gun's 27, the P90 made up for this by having an insane fire rate of 11, whilst being far more accurate. The high DPS and accuracy made the P90 an absolute laser, anywhere between medium and close range. Also, unlike the drum gun, it had little recoil, which made it so much easier to use. Once again, the P90 was introduced during a time when Epic was reducing the strength of builds, which made the P90 a god level weapon when it was introduced. It could destroy your builds, your health, and any enjoyment you're having playing the game in an instant. It was that overpowered. However, as is often the case, Epic realised how much of a mistake they'd made, as the P90 didn't stay this way for long. In fact, within 24 hours, the gun had seen a major nerf. It's still a very strong weapon today, no doubt about that. But those first 24 hours using the P90 is something I won't ever forget. Number 3. Any explosive shortly after patch 6.21 was introduced. Okay, so some might say I'm cheating with this one, but it's my list, okay? I made the rules. Anyway, so the backstory for this inclusion is that for patch 6.21, Epic decided that it would be a good idea to make 25% of explosive damage go through structures. On the face of it, 25% might not sound that much, but in reality, this was game breaking. What this meant is that if you had any sort of explosive, and you had enough of them, as long as you used them quickly, it was basically a guaranteed kill, as they would no longer be able to block explosive damage by simply placing walls around them. Let's use grenades for example. If you'd stacked 8 and started spamming them at an enemy player, it would deal 25 damage per grenade. Therefore, by the 8th grenade, the enemy player would have been killed, even if they had full health and shield, with little they could do about it. Yes, you could build multiple layers to protect yourself, but that's easier said than done, and not always possible. As soon as I saw the patch notes, I decided to take a few days off from playing the game, as I knew it would be completely unplayable. It's a change nobody wanted. This change would reverse pretty quickly, but not so quick that I forgot about it. So I was able to include explosives after patch 6.21 into the top 10. Number 2. Buggy bombs. Okay, hear me out on this one, because I know a lot of you are going to be like, buggy bombs at number 2? You've gone insane. Well, I have good reason for this. And I think a lot of people have forgotten just how broken boogie bombs were when they were first introduced. At first, the effects of the boogie bomb would last 10 seconds. And when I say it would last 10 seconds, I mean it. Even if you were shot, you couldn't do anything to defend yourself. You couldn't build, you couldn't shoot back, for 10 seconds. They were unbelievably overpowered and impossible to counter. If you had a buggy bomb, you were near enough guaranteed to kill whoever you aimed them at, as you had 10 full seconds to kill them without any fear of being hit back. It didn't matter how bad you were or how good your opponent was, they were basically giving you free kills. Can you imagine how mad the fanbase would be if they added something as strong as that now? Everyone would be running around flipping tables and frothing from the mouth in anger. It would be carnage online. Epic would never release something as broken as this now though. Well, actually, yeah, they would. And that brings me to the next and final weapon on the list. Number 1. The Infinity Blade. I can't see many being surprised at this being number 1. This was, without doubt, the most controversial inclusion into Fortnite of all time. And it's simply because it was so incredibly overpowered. Although there was only one Infinity Blade on the map at a time, whoever had it was able to completely dominate whoever they came into contact with. Yes, you did drop all of your other weapons items, but that didn't really matter, considering holding the Infinity Blade gave you a number of huge benefits. Firstly, they received an extra 100 health and 100 shield, and those who wielded the weapon also saw their health steadily increase over time. Each elimination with the weapon also granted an extra 50 health or shield, meaning you never missed out not being able to carry healing items, as you could easily kill other players and instantly heal up. Not only that, but the sword dealt 75 damage per blow, could destroy any build in one swing, increase the player's speed, and allowed for players to avoid fall damage. You could even build whilst holding the Infinity Blade, which made it even more overpowered. During this time, so many people were able to break the kill records simply by getting the Infinity Blade. It didn't matter if you were good or bad at the game, which made it so much worse. In the hands of a bad player, it was still very, very difficult to defend against. But against a good player, it was almost impossible, which made it even more puzzling as to why Epic decided to add it during the North American Winter Royale semis. Just look at this clip of Liquid Chap destroying the lobby with it. Every single player in here is pretty much amazing, but when Chap had the Infinity Blade, there was very little they could do about it. The crazy thing is that Epic were actually planning on adding more weapons like this, but once they saw the outrage from the community, they quickly reversed the decision and released this tweet shortly after. So I think this shows just how big a mistake Epic had made in releasing a weapon this strong. Don't get me wrong, I am one of the few who actually likes the idea of mythical items being in the game, but certainly not being anywhere near this strong. This completely changed the dynamic of Fortnite, more so than the remote explosives, more than the double barrel, and even more than the drum gun. The Infinity Blade may have only been in the game a matter of days before Epic vaulted it, but the impact it left on the game will not be forgotten anytime soon, as it was just so damn strong, so thank God it's gone now. So, there we have our top 10. Let's go through it again. At number 10, we have the Heavy Sniper. At number 9, we have the Silenced SMG. At number 8, we have the Mounted Turrets. At number 7, we have the Double Barrel Shotgun. At number 6, we have the Remote Explosives. At number 5, the Drum Gun. At number 4, the P90. At number 3, we had any explosive shortly after the 6.21 patch. Number 2, we had the Buggy Bombs. And finally, at number 1, we had the Infinity Blade. This was a really tough list to decide. I could have easily put in 150 damage traps, the hand cannon, the boombox, and quad launchers, but I'm still pretty happy with the list. So, what do you make of the list? What would you take off? And what do you think I've missed? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time for another video. Goodbye.